Welcome to the Pleasure Program. My name is Holly.
I'm Victoria.
We're two licensed therapists specializing in sex therapy, and today we are reacting to a Reddit post related to someone's sex life.
You have no idea what I'm about to read you for our Reddit post. I want to throw out a trigger warning right away because this is one of our heavier Reddit posts that we're going to react to thus far. It involves sexual coercion, which is unwanted sexual activity that happens when you're pressured or tricked or threatened in some sort of way, as well as issues surrounding consent and sexual pain. So please take care of yourself and monitor how you're feeling and
Yeah, if you
don't,
feel like you need to skip this one, that's okay.
yeah. And in the description box, we do have some links for some resources if you or someone you know is experiencing sexual coercion or is in some sort of abusive relationship. 20-year-old female. My boyfriend, 28-year-old male, says he's never having sex with me again because I, quote, can't handle real sex, quote. What should I do? My boyfriend is very rough in bed. I don't mean like BDSM stuff such as slapping, hitting, choking. I mean he thrusts extremely hard and does little to no foreplay to prepare me for it. It really doesn't feel good for me. He is pretty large down there, and I usually just withstand the pain for his enjoyment. But last time we had sex, I asked him to please go softer and if we can take breaks in between the thrusting to do other stuff. After this, he told me he's never having sex with me again because I can't handle real sex. I was upfront and asked him if he's not interested in accommodating my needs sexually and pleasuring me. He straight up said no, and that he'd rather never have sex again than be less rough and do more foreplay. He said he's completely fine with us never having sex again and that we can still have a good relationship. This hurts me deeply considering I think sex is an important part of a relationship, especially satisfying sex. He treats me very well outside of the bedroom, better than any man I've been with ever has, and I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I don't want to leave him, but I also don't want to be hurt this way. Does anyone have advice for me?
Okay, I feel like I need to take a deep breath. That was hard to hear.
Yeah, yeah. This poor, poor girl.
Oh, okay, and not that age matters entirely, but this is a 28-year-old guy. Did I get that
Mhm.
right?
And a 20-year-old female.
So, okay. I mean, there's so much wrong with this.
There's so much wrong.
She, first of all, feeling pain, unwanted pain, pain that is not, as she said, like related to BDSM, something that is like a
Consensual.
consensual, a pleasurable type of pain, right?
Hmm.
There is that pain that is unwanted, that is unpleasant, that she's having to try to tolerate and is asking for breaks from is not okay,
Mm-mm.
not normal, not healthy sex in the
Not at all.
slightest, not at all. Um,
And can create long-term issues, sexual dysfunction, pelvic pain disorders. We have a
mhm.
whole episode on pelvic pain disorders, and this is a huge risk factor for that.
Not to mention the psychological
Oh,
trauma
God.
of associating what's supposed to be a pleasurable and connected experience, like sex
Hmm.
with your partner, with this, oh my gosh, like I want this to stop, this hurts, right?
Hmm.
So she has done exactly what she needs to do, which is to say, this hurts. Can we
Yeah.
please slow down? Can you go less hard?
Yeah.
And
Gives direction.
he's saying no, he will never have sex with her again.
Yep.
Done. Done. See you later.
Right. Give him what he wants.
Yeah, okay. Bye.
Yeah.
Her pleasure matters. It matters. And he's literally saying, this doesn't matter to me. Right?
Absolutely. Well, potentially. So, what I think he could be genuinely saying that. It doesn't matter to me. I
I
don't want
thought
to
the
have sex
post
ever again. Yeah. But it implies to me guilt tripping. like it's exaggeratory, like I'm just never going to have sex with you ever again since I can't have rough sex. Which, if he is guilt tripping, that is 100% sexual coercion. That is manipulation. That is emotional and mental abuse, right? Things like being demeaning, which that is demeaning, that is emotional abuse.
You can't handle real sex. I think he has some real problems with his idea and definition of what real sex is. I kind of suspect if his idea of real sex comes from porn, you know, what's depicted in porn is often a very like intense, dare I say aggressive at times type of sex where women are often depicted as like having no limits, anything, you know, any amount of stimulation is like orgasmic and pleasurable when in real life that would not feel pleasurable. So I kind of wonder where he's getting his idea of what real sex is, because this is not it.
I was wondering that too. But I really want to reinforce that if someone is trying to guilt trip you and exaggerate to get you to engage in a sexual activity or sexual activity in a certain manner, that's abuse. That's not okay.
Yeah, not okay. This makes me think of Emily Nagoski's definition of consent, which is everyone is glad to be there and free to leave with no unwanted consequences. Plus, there is no unwanted pain. There are some unwanted consequences happening here with him guilt tripping her, blaming her that she can't handle real sex, overly exaggerating, being all or nothing, will never have sex again.
And to blatantly say no, he doesn't care about her pleasure, that seems exceptionally selfish. Like she's just being used, and that's not what sex is supposed to be, right? It's supposed to, it's supposed to be a pleasurable experience for both parties.
He is not entitled to her body for his own pleasure.
Exactly. That's another sign of emotional abuse, right? Feeling that you are entitled to sex, right? Withdrawing their consent. Let's talk just about a few more aspects of coercion so people can maybe identify some of the warning signs, right? Like you just mentioned, entitlement, withdrawing your partner's consent, right? Like if they say yes and then they withdraw their consent as perfectly acceptable and okay, like it's painful, but then your partner doesn't let you withdraw your consent, that is abuse. Asking multiple times, pressuring, making you feel obligated, gaslighting you, making you question your reality, or pushing substances on you to try to get you loosened up to do it, or threatening you. That is all aspects of sexual coercion, abuse, not okay. Which
Even
again,
the passive forms like withdrawing love and affection, giving the cold shoulder, sulking, ignoring, I think that's also not okay just because somebody doesn't want to have sex with you.
100%. 100%. And then there's this idea sometimes of negotiation where, well, okay, like if I give in to what they want, maybe there'll be a reduction in harm, or maybe they'll be faithful to me, or maybe they'll change their behavior, right? And sex shouldn't be used as a negotiation tool for that. It's not going to change their behavior. So again, we have some resources linked down below. If you're listening to this and you're like, oh my God, I am experiencing manipulation, I do feel sexually coerced, there's phone numbers, there's websites, and there's resources you can even text. So check that out.
At one point she says that he treats her better than any of the guys she's been with. I just want to say to this girl, like, you're 20 years old. You have your whole life ahead. There is better than this. I don't know what you experienced before this guy, but there is better. You deserve better. And this does not sound like a healthy situation, a healthy person to be in a relationship with. He's not ready for a relationship, which is alarming at 28 years old to have the beliefs that he has and to be treating a partner in the way he's treating her.
Even if he is the greatest partner outside of the bedroom, that doesn't excuse what he does in the bedroom at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she's right. It is an important part of a relationship.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, and he's bluffing. I don't know that I believe that he's never going to have sex again because she can't handle it. That's
Yeah,
a guilt tactic.
100%. I think we should talk about what real sex looks like, since this gentleman thinks that she doesn't know what real sex is. So, what do you think real sex is?
Real sex, I think, is two people experiencing pleasure. You
That's
know?
exactly what I was going to say. I feel
Yeah.
like it boils down to two things: consent and pleasure.
Yeah.
That's it. As long as both people are consenting, right, like fully aware of what's happening and good with it,
Right.
and they're experiencing pleasure, great.
And I
That
think
is real sex.
real sex, and that's such like, there's so many variations within that, right?
Yeah.
Two people or more consenting to a pleasurable time together,
Yeah.
and some likely erotic energy. Usually there's genitals involved, but like there can be other dynamics. There can be role playing. There can be submissive or dominant dynamics. There can be fantasies incorporated. I mean, there could be an orgasm. There might not be. Like there's
Yeah. Body parts that have nothing to do with genitals.
yeah,
Yeah. So much.
so much variation. I think it's kind of liberating
Yeah.
to think of it that way, because we tend to think, when we think what's real sex culturally, we have a very narrow idea.
Mhm.
There's usually penetration, usually penis and vagina. There's an orgasm, usually on the male's part.
In missionary.
Call it a day. Real sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Okay, so I do have an update for this one, and which is great because it's pretty rare that we have an update. So, edit. I decided I will leave him, but I'm not sure how or when to do it. It's really difficult to let go of someone who has so many good qualities and who I really love as a person. Most men are not like my boyfriend. Finding him was like finding a needle in a haystack in terms of him being such a good person and so chivalrous towards and loving towards me. The men I've been with in the past and the men I meet on a regular basis aren't good like him at all. I envisioned this man as the love of my life and the one I would marry because of his good qualities. So it's such a shame things turned sour. I don't think I have the strength to leave him in the physical reality yet, but I made the mental decision to keep my options open to other men.
Okay.
Sometimes leaving can be hard,
It is hard.
right? It's okay to have that be that first step, is mentally you've
Yeah,
checked
checked
out, and
out.
then you can start using your resources, your friends, your family to help you make that plan to follow through in the physical reality. And just because you're sad about it, that doesn't make it the wrong thing to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And something doesn't seem to make sense here, that like he's chivalrous and just so
Yeah.
wonderful in every other way. This is a person, and is, what were her words? Like his ethics or his morals or something. I forget,
Yeah,
what did she
yeah.
say?
Let me look. I don't remember. So many good qualities. Needle in a haystack, such a good person, so chivalrous and loving. Other men aren't good at all. Vision this man of such good quality, such a shame things turn sour. Yeah.
Okay, he's got these such good qualities, so chivalrous. I don't know what qualities she's referring to here. This is somebody who is perfectly fine with inflicting pain on his partner,
Yeah.
who is hurting and does not want that.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, I don't know what other qualities could make up for that. I think that at 20, it's probably hard to imagine anything different, anything better, and it's scary to think about trying again with somebody new, but
Yeah.
she has, knock on wood, so much life ahead of her to learn from this. Not that this is her fault or her doing,
No.
but to
Yeah.
take from this experience and apply that in a future partner and a future relationship, and
Yeah.
know where she draws this line and what she's not willing to tolerate and what treatment is not okay for her, no matter what else is good.
Absolutely. And I will throw it out there that Reddit was overwhelmingly on the same page as us.
Oh,
Pretty much everyone was
good.
like, dump his ass.
I'm glad. I'm glad everybody else on Reddit was seeing this similarly. That gives me hope for mankind.
Viewers, what advice would you give to this girl? Share with us in the comments.
Can you relate? Have you had to make some tough decisions yourself and leave a relationship that felt toxic, unhealthy, abusive?
All right. Thank you for watching.